Classic butter, guys. Woo-wee. Man. Get you a bag. Woo! How we doing, traders? It's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful Friday afternoon. God bless, guys. Let's get into a couple different things. Let's get into AMC first. And then we'll talk about GameStop, and we'll talk about my macro thesis of what I think it is likely to do now that you've seen that pop from the bottom of the stock, right? But AMC is pretty much just following what we talked about in our last video, your touch of bullish divergence on the weekly time frame. That is the biggest thing happening on this chart right now, because that is the exact same scenario in which you made a lower low and a significantly lower low the previous time, but made crazy rallying higher lows on the RSI and higher highs, right? So what we want to see from AMC stock is, now that you've seen that low, higher low, or higher high, low, higher high, low, we want to see the RSI make a higher high. And to do so, you would have to see this thing make a pretty nasty move. If this is indeed, right, if this is indeed your weekly bullish divergence, the first one since March of 2022, or February of 2022, in which you made a lower low in the price and a higher low on the RSI. And this didn't happen just once, but that one time resulted in a pretty wacky return of 167%. It happened again back here, where you made a lower low, significantly low, but a higher low on the RSI. And that inevitably, right, inevitably became the exact same 167% move. And so we're watching, right, because you did the same thing back here. Higher low, higher low, higher low, bam. Higher low, bam, higher low, bam. And it doesn't take multiple touches to see an explosive move. But what it does take is a confirmed touch of weekly bullish divergence. And this is as textbook as it gets, guys. So I'm going to be watching the volume profile pretty closely here. I'm going to be watching the stock pretty closely here. As on the daily time frame, you can see you have this inverted head and shoulders pattern. Very, very typical, honestly, of a bottoming formation. But what you need to do, absolutely have to do, guys, is you have to get back above this 9-day EMA, because you closed above it on Thursday. Thought you were going to have a beautiful Friday, and you closed below it on a Friday. So down 2% today, 2.8%. And what I'd like to see is this full extension off of the inverted head and shoulders, right? You break the neckline, and then you go up to your 200-day EMA. That is your best case scenario for this stock, because if that happens, guys, not only will you be above the 9-day EMA, you're going to be above the 50. And if you get above the 50, guys, I'm going to genuinely be excited for a potential volatile move. Breaking above the 50 will not only give you the momentum to get up here back to $3, but what it will do, ladies and gentlemen, Ape and Avettes, is it's going to get you above this trend line, a hopeful close, weekly close above this trend line for the first time ever, since you broke beneath it during your AMC Ape conversion. So yeah, that's a big deal, right? That's a very, very big thing. So what I like is, off of this breakdown, you made a low and then a pretty nice volume spring. Now I need to see the volume pick up here. Otherwise, I do believe you're going to go back and you're going to test this 218 area. You break beneath 218, guys, and you're doing more of a schematic like this, right? You make your double bottom. Maybe it's a lower low, maybe it's equal low, right? But hopefully that is the plan that will get you outside of this wedge, because once you get outside of this wedge, guys, all hands are off the table. It's going to be insane. Just a quick little update for AMC as well. HYMC, baby, going absolutely ham as gold continues this rally. So what I've been watching so closely for HYMC is this quarterly MACD cross. And this is what allowed me to evaluate a position here. You crossed it, and you were, keep in mind, guys, at $1.99 when you crossed it. That's lower than AMC is right now. Not to say they're correlated, but you are now at 13 or 1250, guys. What's that move again? It's a 500% move? More than that, probably. As a 528% move. And when we're talking about this, not only is HYMC a part of AMC's holdings, right? They bought a decent chunk way back in 2022. But what we're watching for here, ladies and gentlemen, is how close you are to getting that quarterly MACD cross. Last time you got it, you're 1 for 1, right? Besides for the IPO. Last time you got a cross off of weekly bullish divergence, guys, you saw a crazy move of 400% followed up by 455%. Not to say that's going to happen, guys, but so often does history rhyme. And it looks to me, God willing, let's say you don't get a bunch of dilutive news that hurts the stock and brings you down to $1, that could propel you very similarly to HYMC, very similarly to example Open Technologies, right? And what I'd be watching for at that point is the retest of your all-time low, your previous all-time low, sitting currently at 1035, your previous all-time low. That is the test, the swing test we're waiting to see, as it will happen, in my opinion, at some point. So fascinating stuff on AMC. If you go to the weekly chart here, we're watching and waiting for this gap fill, your all-time gap fill, sitting at 40, what is that? Sitting at 42.88. So, and then on the daily, it paints a little bit different of a picture. You have a gap fill sitting at 13, gap fill sitting at 19, and then that gap fill sitting at $42, guys. So AMC, lots to love, lots to hate. You're still sitting around your all-time low. I'd like to see more of a reaction, and that's what we're waiting for. So AMC in a nutshell, pretty simple stuff. Reasons to get excited, though, genuinely. Now, GameStop, right? GME, our poster child of the meme stock craze. GameStop has done so many different things to get me excited. And this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the weekly RSI band, one of my favorite indicators. Not my favorite. We'll go over my favorite in just 1 second. But your weekly RSI band, you just crossed above it. And from that, you've seen a very positive move of 11% and 2%. I'd like to see this continuation above the 50 on the RSI, because that would confirm a bullish trend on GameStop, a strong bullish trend. But why I have touches of doubts and touches of optimism against this crazy move that we've had so far is I had this chart up for quite some time. This bull channel where you made higher highs and higher lows. Now on GameStop, guys, on GME, I've been watching this swing back, and we've talked about in our previous videos that it is likely to get back and test this channel, considering you've traded it for over a year, right? And you've done exactly that. No joke. I should probably make a short about this. Like me talking about this falling wedge will break, and you will test this uptrend. Currently, you're wicking off of the uptrend, and I have reason to be a little cautious, right? Now, if you see this cross the 50 line, I'm going to start to get very bullish and very excited on GameStop. That paired with the fact that GameStop is currently reclaimed its weekly 200-day EMA, guys. It's currently about to cross on the weekly MACD, my favorite indicator, hands down. Additionally, you look at that drought in volume we had talked about on GameStop, and you see this completely turning the tide from your low volume and beginning to ramp up once again. And that's something that I had wished to see, because this move up 11% was off of significantly low volume. So the fact that you are breaking that trend, you're looking nice. It looks really, really good here for GameStop. And I don't mean that in a copium, hopium, rocket fuel, rocket man kind of way, right? But no jokes aside, it looks very nice, as if this is a broken pattern and you're about to go to the moon. So I'm watching very closely for this weekly MACD cross, guys, because that is my absolute favorite indicator, especially on GME. You can see how this thing has reacted every single time. 24% move. You got your cross up here. 36% move. And it's like guaranteed gains almost all of the time. Not financial advice. You got one all the way down here, 65% move, right? So it's just a freaking bomb diggity indicator. And I would recommend you guys to use it. Not financial advice. You do what you want, right? But consistently on GameStop, it is predicted upside over and over and over again. So if that plays out, guys, I expect this to be no different. I would expect it to be a little bit more of a drawn out, maybe show inverse head and shoulders, and then you go. But the scenario in which I'm being a little cautious, and I think is a little bit more likely on GameStop, is one of a falling wedge, because this has been playing out since May of 2025, guys, where you had that dramatic sell-off. Your touch of 27, your sell-off down to 19, and now you're having this touch of the previous all-time uptrend that was established back from your first squeeze of 2024. So what I'm watching now is a rejection. And this rejection would be, oh no, GameStop sucks. This is the end of the world. Haha, you're wrong, right? And what I'm watching for, if that happens, is I'm watching for a lower low in the stock price. And if that happens, guys, and you see a lower low, but a higher low on the RSI, I will load the freaking boat. And I mean that, because if you see this trend line play out, this falling wedge coiled on GME, I would anticipate a nasty, nasty move. One that could legitimately be of this velocity. Because you just never know with GameStop. You genuinely don't. So if you get to this, not just this end of the pinnacle of the falling wedge, but also this flat horizontal resistance at 1876, I would have reason to be significantly bullish on GameStop, and reason to believe that you could see volatility pick up just like that, right? So reasons to love and reasons to be cautious on GameStop. I remain bullish long term. And I just want to get you guys through this mental exercise to just think about the stock, right? Just think for a moment. You are priced at the exact same price right now that you were at in 2023, 2023, 2022, and even as far back as January of 2022, right? You are the same price. But in the meantime, around the back, around the bottom line, Ryan Cohen has managed to make this company $10 billion of cash on hand. Not only that, but $500 million of Bitcoin in the bank. One of the top holding companies in America of Bitcoin. I think it's like in the top 50, if I'm not wrong. Above that, guys, you are consistently showing profitability quarter over quarter and year over year results that honestly are unmatched. I mean, you go to Webull, right? And you see the year over year. I think you go to financials, you go to balance sheet, income, financial ratio, income statement. Yeah, your income statement. And that is because you're actually showing net revenue income for the first time pretty much consistently ever on GameStop stock. So now you're beginning to weigh this. Are the shorts cooked? I genuinely think yes. There's no way that you can justify shorting this company when you have GameStop posting things like this. Give me GameStop. Come on. Come on. I said stock. I'm silly. Oh my goodness, I can't type. Posting things like this. This is absolutely hilarious and 100% right up my alley. I might go. Bring whatever, get store credit. Some/no questions asked. That is amazing. And to me, this is GameStop trying to become a little bit more of a marketing retailer of broader goods, a broader e-commerce store. This is them playing their goofy twist on trying to challenge Alibabas of the world, the Amazons of the world. And although they're not probably not looking to win that battle, they're trying to grab some market share, right? I have no idea what the outcome of this will be, but the fact that they're going to, and this is the big part, bring whatever, get store credit. They're bringing foot traffic into GameStop stores. I bet your buns you're going to see people in the cold of winter in line at a GameStop near you. That's amazing. And I love that marketing ploy from Ryan Cohen. So just wrap your brain around that, right? Get excited. Genuinely, even if the price goes lower, I am genuinely excited about the long-term fundamentals of GameStop. And I just like the stock, right? So God bless each and every single one of you guys. But this is not the end. I almost forgot. Not Warner Bros. GME Plus. Give me GME Plus. The GME warrants have been on an absolute tear. And you are about to do something that you have quite literally never done on the GameStop warrants ever. And you're seeing a rejection here that could go all the way down here to this $3 zone. If that happens, I'm going to be pounding my fist on the table because already off of this rejection, you went all the way up to $4.50 from $2.50. You saw a $2 swing. That's almost 100%. And to all the bears out there, you can see this rejection, but you also see the decreasing volume every single day. I do anticipate this to break further, but I anticipate you to test your golden cross that is going to happen at quite literally any moment now. So if that does happen, guys, I'm anticipating something along the lines of this, especially going in to GME earnings. Right? And I believe that because typically your first test of the Golden Cross, it's about a 70 to 75% rebound rate. And this is the perfect cup and handle formation for me with the EMAs there, with the volume profile decreasing. I see it as an absolute opportunity. So, not financial advice, guys. God bless each and every single one of you guys. I hope you are doing well around Christmas. And remember, the best is yet to come. Salute.